Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Missy. Thanks for joining me again for another video. Today's layout is for My Scraps and More, and I created this for this week's Word Up Wednesday challenge, and I'm using the new Cocoa Vanilla Hello Lovely collection, and it is so gorgeous. I love everything about it. One sheet that is not from this collection is this sheet right here with the text on it. That is also Cocoa Vanilla, but is from the Made of Awesome collection, and I think that one's more of the boy line, and the rest of everything that I'm going to be using is from the girl line, and it is so pretty. I couldn't decide what I wanted to even start with because it was all just so pretty. I'm using a black and white picture of my youngest child running wild on the patio with her hair just flowing everywhere in the breeze. She has wild and curly hair, and it fits her personality to a T. So that's the picture that I'm going to use, and I wanted it to be black and white because a lot of the elements in this collection have black in it. And I just decided to start out by making some layers, and I went for some of the pinks and the blues and the florals in this collection. And some of the paper I cut, some of it I cut and tore. I like to make my layers uneven and kind of crooked. And I decided to go with some acrylic paints today. I'm going to do some coloring with some stencils on my background with paints today. But first I'm going to use some gesso, and I pull out the white gesso, and I'm just going to use my hand and smudge it around. I wanted to blend out some of that text, and I wanted to give more of a white background to where my paint is going to go. So I just give a couple layers of gesso. And then I pull out my white acrylic paint, and I kind of do the same thing that I did with the gesso. I just squirted some onto the paper and then used my hand to smudge it around. And I wanted to experiment here. I knew that the paint would create more of a whiteness to the background and make my hand white, which was, who cares? I like to get my hands messy, right? Doesn't matter. So I've got the background where I want it, and then I decide I'm going to go and start cutting out things that I know I want to use. And I wanted to use that butterfly. And so I go ahead and I cut it out. And now I'm going to come in with my background. I'm going to use this stencil. And I'm going to just use a foam brush. And I'm just going to kind of rub it on in a messy way here. I wanted it to look kind of not perfect. I wanted some of the brush strokes to show through, and this was kind of an experiment to see what would happen if I did this on top of the white paint and the gesso. And so far so good. This paint adhered very nicely, as you can see. It didn't give me any problems. It dried really quickly, and I didn't want this background to look perfect. I wanted it to look kind of messy and you know, kind of lights and darks here and there, and that's exactly the look that I got. And as you can see, I'm kind of random here. I'm going with fussy cutting, and then I'm going with layering, and then I'm going to come back in with more paint here in a minute. I was just kind of going by the spur of the moment here, whatever hit me at the moment. Usually I create, you know, all of my background at once, but this layout, my brain was all over the place. The end result is awesome. I love how it turned out, and I owe it all to these papers, because the papers and embellishments in this collection just pretty much do all the work for you. And it's just all over the place. I'm cutting, I'm painting, you know, there's no rhyme or reason to how this page came together. So I'm glad I filmed it, because you can see for yourself how crazy my brain works. So now I'm going to play with the ephemera die cut pack and just sort of play around with where I want certain things. I wanted to make sure I had some blues and some oranges in there. Okay, so here's my brain going in a different direction. I decide now I'm going to play with gelatos and add more to the background. I did want to add a little bit of blue. Now this is where this gets interesting. I noticed right away that this packaging technique with my gelatos didn't work as well with the white paint on the background. It didn't seep into the paper hardly at all, and it as you can see there, it really didn't make a big impact. And I really didn't want a huge impact. I didn't want it to be a dark blue. I wanted it to be that light blue that's in the papers. But I was surprised at how light it really was. It was almost like the paint repelled the gelato, if that makes any sense. So I tried a couple different things here. I tried some Heidi Swapp Color Shine directly on the paper. I tried some Heidi Swapp Color Shine on the packaging and then flipped it over. And it turned out fine. It was an experiment to see, what would happen. There I go spraying water directly on the paper. And then I break out the watercolors. And I thought, well, maybe this will be a little bit different. And it really wasn't. It all kind of did the same thing because the paint is just a whole different texture than gesso, and it still dried and it was fine in the end because I just wanted light hints of blue, and that's what I wound up getting. But it just took some time and several layers of the paint and the gelatos to kind of make it stick, if that makes any sense. So definitely white paint and gesso are not the same. And that's, just part of experimenting and playing around with different mediums because you never know what you may get when you mix one with the other. And, you just kind of have to see what you get. So I'm going to layer several of these little die cut pieces right on top of the picture. And I'm going to fold up some of my edges there. And it's kind of coming together how I want it to look in my head. I love these colors, the oranges and the pinks and the blues. They're just so pretty. So I'm going to use that little 3x4 sheet, or 3x4 card from the cut apart sheet. I guess that's what you would call it. I'm going to use that as an element right by my picture there. And I really love that butterfly. It caught my eye right away. And so it's definitely going to make it to the page. And I did some stitching there with gray thread. And there's also a set of vellum hearts in this collection. And very, very pretty. Just something different. And so I'm going to use a few of those. And the challenge, I told you this was for a Word Up Wednesday challenge, but I never told you what the challenge was. Usually for the Wednesday Word Up challenges, we challenge our members to use a specific word, or the challenge has something to do with words. And my title winds up being 3 adjectives. It's going to be sweet, lovely, fabulous. And so the challenge is to create a title using 3 adjectives of your choice. So you can use any 3 adjectives that describe your picture. And so there's a ton of those to choose from. Now I'm going to wind up changing out that flare button that's got the ampersand on it. It's actually going to move. And here's where I got a different idea. I decided that this is a trend that I've been seeing a lot of in recent months, and I had not tried it. And it's hand drawing and fussy cutting out a title or a word. And so that's where my word fabulous is going to come in. I get so used to using my Cameo and cutting script fonts, which I love. But I thought, I'm going to try this out and see if I like it. And I absolutely loved it. I will definitely do it again. And the good part about this is it's supposed to be kind of messy and crooked. And I didn't use a ruler at all. I just took my little pencil and hand drew these letters and cut them out. And it wound up being really, really fun. I love that you can use several different, several pattern papers. This is a good way to get lots of little bits of pattern on your page. You can do your whole title like this. You can make them as big or as small as you want. But I wanted the word fabulous to be a big statement across the bottom part of the page. And I'm not going to make you watch every single letter, so I only do a couple there for you to see. And now I've got them all done. And I'm going to add in a couple more stickers and things here before I put fabulous down there and glue it down. And I moved the ampersand because I wanted to say sweet, lovely, and fabulous. And then I replaced the other one with you are my happy, the black flare button up at the top. And I'm going to add some blue thread under it before I stick it down. And the more I looked through this collection, the more I loved it. Just every single die cut is so pretty. The papers are beautiful. This is definitely one of my most favorite collections that I've worked with in a while. And I've had it for, a couple weeks, several weeks now, and I just have not gotten a chance to use it. And I'm so glad I did. I will definitely be using it again soon because it's very pretty. So I'm going to stick that flare button down because that's exactly where I want it to go. And then I'm going to glue all of these letters down. And I do wind up stitching through it. And I want to use my ruler just to make sure that I know all the letters are wonky and, kind of messy, but I did want them as straight as I could get them. And I did stitch through it, and I stitched underneath it as well. And I'm going to come back in with some of this black and white striped washi tape that I love. And I spent quite a while getting it just how I liked it. And I added a little bit more in addition to this strip that I'm putting here now, but I cut that out because it took me a while. And I come back in with a couple of little die cut pieces to jazz up some of these letters. And then I'm just going to play around with a couple other pieces. And this was really fun to put together. The hard part was narrowing down which pieces to use because it's just so pretty, and every piece, literally, that I saw, I wanted to put on this page. So I'm going to add my date stamp on that little orange piece. And then I'm going to add a few more things down here at the bottom. Arrows, hearts. Actually, I think that little heart's going to go up there by the butterfly. It's just little bits and pieces here and there. And if you're ever interested in checking out the My Scraps forum, we have a new challenge every day of the week, except Sundays. And prizes every month. So if you're interested in joining us, we have lots of fun over there. There's lots of fun, nice, awesome ladies over there. You can join the forum. If you go to myscrapsandmore.com, you can get the links to everything. We have a sketch blog. We have a regular blog. We have the store. We have a Facebook member forum as well. So lots and lots going on all the time. And I know Audrey has a lot of new things coming in. The store is full of new awesome things. So definitely check that out if you are on the hunt for some new scrappy supplies. And this is getting close to being done. I really love how it turned out. There's the final picture. I loved doing the fussy cut title. That was really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. I want to say hello to all my new subscribers. Thanks for joining me. And I hope to see you guys again soon. And have a great day. And I'll see you next time.